Hey everybody, it's Greg.
And I'm Katy. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are continuing on our trek of our top 100 of all time. Episode 2, yes, but 90 through 81?
Yes, that would be 10.
Yes, 90
10
through 81.
You know.
But before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and of course hit that bell icon if you want notification of future content.
And you can follow us on all of our social media by hitting the link below. So,
All right,
you go first again?
I guess. You want me to?
Okey-dokey.
Am I ready to go first? Sure. My number 90. Number 90 is one we've had for a while now. It doesn't come to the table as often as I would like, but you know, still love it. That is Five Tribes.
Oh. Okay.
Five Tribes is a modular board where it basically works in kind of like a Mancala type mechanism. You're picking up a stack of different colored meeples off of one tile, and you're dropping one on every tile until you get to the last one, and then whatever color meeple you are ready to drop there, you can pick up everything of that color from that tile. Each of the meeples have different abilities. I want to say there's 5 different colors. The expansion added a 6th color to it. And each one of them have different abilities that you can use throughout the game or for scoring at the end of the game. But each of the tiles offer victory points, as well as other abilities that let you collect cards and add extra things to it that give you more victory points at the end of the game. There's just a lot going on. It's a very, very thinky game, but it's also one of those games that you can pre-plan your move to a certain extent, but be prepared to have to change it. Because if somebody even adds one meeple to the tile you planned on picking up, it changes everything.
Yeah,
So,
you got to figure out another route to get to the tile you want to go to.
yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, that is my number 90, Five Tribes.
All right. My number 90 is new to the list. This is Atiwa. Atiwa. It's all about bat poop.
Why did I not? I should have seen that coming.
Well, this is all about you're building your village out to help the bats. Well, you can, or you can eat the bats. Depends on if you want to train your villagers or not. If you eat the bats, you eat the bats, and that's the food to feed the villagers, or you can get food to feed the villagers.
Yes.
You can train them to keep them from the area protected when you mine, because if you don't, then you get pollution, which harms the bats. It's been since just after Dice Tower West since we played this.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to play it recently. Very interesting, and it's all based on, true ecology.
Yep.
They're fruit bats that help to spread guana to pollinate. I guess pollinate is probably the proper word for it. To pollinate the fruit trees.
It's a worker placement because you're going to the actions out on the board.
Yes.
And some of them take the bats to go away during the day, and then at night you've got to have room for the bats. If you don't have room for all the bats, then they just disappear. If you have if you train your villagers, the bats can actually live in the house.
One bat can live in
and that villager won't eat the bats.
But if you don't train them, then they can't.
They can't eat they can't eat the bats, and
there's a fine line there.
Yep. But so that is my number 90, all about the bat poop, Atiwa.
I don't know where that one ended up. All right, so my number 89 is another one we got to play for the first time at Dice Tower West. And we picked it up very shortly thereafter. Matter of fact, we picked it up in Northern Phoenix on the way back from Dice Tower West.
Yeah, because I think we stopped to do a podcast in Albuquerque on our drive out to Dice Tower West. And Jessica talked about this game on the podcast, and then we realized it was there at Dice Tower West
in the hot games room to play. And then we found it at a store just north of Phoenix on the way back to my mom's after Dice Tower West before coming home. But anyway, I bet you want to know what this is. My number 89 is Bad Company. Bad Company is got the same basic mechanic as Space Base, where you're expanding the ability of each of your dice rolls. In this case, they happen to be street gang members. So you're expanding their abilities by adding additional cards to them, and then at the start of every turn, everybody rolls two dice, or one person rolls two dice. That person has the ability to use all the dice, or you roll 4 dice, you make 2 sets.
Right.
Everybody has the ability the person who rolls the dice has the ability to use all of the dice. Everybody else gets to use 1 set of the dice, and they can activate one of the two gang members indicated by the dice roll, and then they get all of those abilities.
So you also roll the police dice.
You're rolling the police dice, yes. So the whole point of this one is to stay ahead of the police. And if you can stay ahead of the police, then you get extra benefits at the end of the game. It's not the end of the world if they get ahead of you, because they're not going to stop you from doing anything. You just don't get extra benefits.
Yeah, but then whoever gets into the red first ends the game.
Yeah, and then you're racing to the end of the board, and whoever gets there first, that's the end of the game, and you scrub your points. But you're trying to you're collecting cards and doing jobs, basically. It's all set collection. You're collecting different types of things to score at the end of the game, and you've got goal cards that tell you, kind of steer you in the right direction. But yeah, great game. We ended up picking up Space Base not too long after this because we enjoyed this so much, so we can compare them. But I don't know, I really like this one. The theme is just very campy. It's just fun. But that is Bad Company, my number 89.
Cool. My next game, and number 89 is, I think it's actually the first train game we ever bought, and that's Empire Express.
Yeah.
We didn't get Empire Builders because we didn't know there was an Empire Builders. We found Empire Express was when we worked at Gen Con for Mayfair.
Yep.
And we had demoed it like the year before or whatever. This is one of the crayon rail games.
Yes.
Where you've got a crayon and you are building your rails out to be able, hey, imagine that, it's another pickup and delivery game.
It is,
because you're building your rails out to get to the stations you need to do to pick up things, and then you're also building your rails out to get to the area where you need to drop them off, because you can't drop them off if you don't have a rail there, or you can't go pick it up if you don't have a rail there. This is one of 2 crayon rail games on my list. Gee, I bet you don't know what the other one is.
We only own 2, so
there you go.
It's an easy
anyway,
pick.
But this is a lot of fun. I mean, because if you can actually take somebody else's rail to a place, but you have to pay them to use it.
Yeah.
But
so you're not shut out if you don't have, if you can't get. Sometimes it's more beneficial just pay somebody to use their rail and go, rather than spending the money to build it yourself.
And when you go to most places, they only want one of a certain item, or maybe, and you go something. Well, I have an empty train, so I'm going to pick up 2 of them and put 2 of them. But there are event cards out there, and sometimes there's derailments, and then anybody that's on a certain track is going to lose their load.
Yeah.
Or at least part of their load,
so
or
you
what
have
have
a backup, yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I mean, in Empire Express is only from, like, what is it, Indiana over to the East Coast. I don't think it goes out to St. Louis.
I don't remember. I'd have to pull the map out.
Maybe it's Illinois and over.
Maybe.
In South, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes, I'll agree. That's a good one. My number 88 is, again, another new one to us. Christmas.
Imagine that.
I know,
All
right?
these are new to your list, but...
Well, yes, they're all new to my list because it's the first year I've ever done it. Anyway, my number 88 is one that we played for the first time at Dice Tower Retreat. I know you guys have seen a theme here. Sorry. But it's where we play most of our newer games. All the Dice Tower events. Anyway, so we played this for the first time this last year at Dice Tower Retreat and picked it up very shortly thereafter. But this is Sagani. Sagani reminds me a lot of Nova Luna.
Yeah.
The only big difference is Nova Luna had that kind of like patchwork, whose turn is next feeling to it, whereas this one does not. The main mechanism in this one is you are trying to link together tiles to score. Each tile will have a series of dots on it that it wants to be connected in a certain direction. So it may say it needs 2 blues this direction or 3 yellows this direction or whatever. And you have little chips that you are putting down every time you complete one.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as the tile itself is completed, you can pull all of those back and they come back into your supply. But if you run out of tiles or the little chips in the meantime, you can't get them completed, then you end up having to take ones that cost you negative points at the end of the game. And those stay in your supply. You can't get rid of them. Mm-hmm. But you're linking them together. The big difference with this one is it doesn't care if they're directly linked. It can be anywhere in the line that direction, but it just has to be in a direct line. So I could have 6 tiles stretched out and my last tile is one of the blues I need for this tile to be completed, but it works because it's in that line. I really want to dig this one out and play it some more. It's a neat puzzle, trying to position your tiles where you can complete goals immediately or complete other goals that are already on your board so you don't have to take those negative chips. Yeah, I really like this one. I love the puzzle behind this one.
Yeah, that would surprise me when we played that.
Yeah, well, and it's like we've got habitats that has the same connection mechanism. Mm-hmm. This one I liked because it doesn't have to be directly connected. It can be anywhere in that line.
It can be chained in.
Which opens it up some, but at the same time, it almost makes it harder because, I don't know,
Just trying to get everything
a good
in the
one.
right place.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, that is Sagani.
Cool. My number 88 is another one we played at Dice Tower West. And new to my list.
Theme.
This one we actually learned how to play from the designer himself.
Oh, okay.
And this is like I was waiting for it to click on. This is Agent of Smersh, the Epic Edition. In Agents of Smersh, the game's great, I think.
Yes.
And we're not really big on narrative games.
We are not.
This is a super big narrative game where you are super agents chasing after Dr. Lobo. Mm-hmm. To stop him and his minions. And how does it? You're playing a super spy, which I love some of the artwork because some of them's like Sean Connery from Avengers.
Yeah.
Not the Avengers, I think. Or is it the opposite way? One of them's the Marvel one, one of them's the super spy one. And the $6 Million Man's one of them.
But they don't name them that.
No, they don't. They're completely different.
They're spoofs of that.
Exactly.
And it's hysterical.
It's hysterical though. But you're playing them. You got these 2-layer boards that open up. You slide your sheet in for your character and put it in there. That's really cool. But you're going to move around areas on the board. There's going to be certain things going on at the board. You can also do a mission at the board where you get a card. It has a number for a section you're going to go to. Mm-hmm. It gives you options of how you want to deal with that thing, which will give you a second number, and then you roll a dice. It gives you a third number. And you go to this big, humongous book.
Yeah. Oh,
and it tells you the skills that you have to do to pass this mission.
Yeah.
Which makes it really cool. And the whole time you're also you have super spies equipment and extra skills and just upgrading your character so you can take on the minions. Because you got to find the minion first and battle the minion so you can find Dr. Lobo so you can take Dr. Lobo at the end of the game. But it's really cool. It is based off of Arabian Nights. It's the same
system.
Same system, basically. The same. It's basically a choose your own adventure.
Yes.
Because you're choosing where you're going. There is so much replayability because there is a ton of agents you can use. Mm-hmm. And the book's so big, you're never going to use that same
you would be hard-pressed
number
to use
of the book.
I mean,
it's a thick
twice,
book, so it's a really cool game. We've played it a couple times. Like I said, we played it at Dice Tower West, and we played it here with Ben and his wife, Colleen. And they enjoyed it. It kind of dragged on that one because we decided we were going to make sure we were super powered up to get to Dr. Lobo. And then by the time we got to Dr. Lobo, we just took him out like that because we were too...
We were so overpowered that it made it way too easy at the end. So
we made it longer because we did that.
I would be curious to actually play this and speed the end and see what happens. So we'll need to get it to the table.
So that is number 87. No, 88.
88.
Agents of Smersh.
All right, my number 87 is an older one, I actually don't remember when it was. I remember when we got it. We've had it for quite a while now. But this is space themed. Spaceships in the solar system.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know that one.
What do you think it is?
Eclipse.
No.
No.
It's not the solar system. Eclipse is not in the solar system. Eclipse is far, far away. Destination Neptune.
Oh, okay. This isn't on my list.
I know it's not.
I know it's not
I
on
don't
my
know
list.
why I like this one.
I don't either.
It's kind of got a little bit of pickup and delivery. You're taking things to other planets in the solar system, but everybody has a base on Earth or Earth's moon. And the idea is that you are taking scientists and other equipment to other planets in the solar system to build laboratories and to do research on those planets. I mean, space lanes and lots of different, I don't know. And like I said, it's been a little while since we played it because he doesn't necessarily like it. But you know what? We've already played it for this. We've already played it for the playing through our collection, haven't we? Because it's a D destination.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I won't get to play it again for a
Yeah,
while.
I mean, it's cool because you have to have a station down there to even do anything on the
Yeah,
planet.
you
But
have
you can
to-
piggyback
You
off
can.
of somebody else, so you don't have to pay your own fuel.
Yes.
You just piggyback off of them to get to the planet with them, but you get the lesser of whatever's going to happen
Right,
down there.
exactly. So I don't know. I like the. I don't want to say it's territory control, but there is a little bit
It
of
is
territory
kind of,
control
yeah.
in this one.
It's definitely resource-based.
Is resource based and action based. You get so many actions per turn, and you have to pay for your fuel, so you can only go as far as you have money to go. Yeah, I really like this one. It's an interesting puzzle. But anyway, that is my number 87. Yes, 87. Destination Neptune.
So my 87 is a Goodwill find.
Okay, that does not
It
narrow it down at all.
is an older edition. There's a newer edition out
Okay.
of it. And this is Arkham Horror, the board game. This one is it's another one of those big epic games.
Yes.
And we really got into the big epic games because it takes us a little bit of time to do this, but there is kind of a timer in the game. But you're going around to different locations, trying to clear out the monsters, trying to get certain things to take out the monsters.
Well, I like that you could do something wrong and end up in the underworld.
Yes.
And
yes.
then you gotta
But
fight your way out of
sometimes
that.
you do have to go to the underworld to
You
get
do.
things done to be
You
able to
do.
fix other things. So
So-
it's really cool. I'm not sure we've actually even beat this game yet.
If we have, it's been by the skin of our teeth. There has never been
And
a
we've
landslide
only
victory in
played this
one.
at 2 players. So
We
but-
have. We've only played it 2-player because it's so long. And we've only, we play it probably at least once a year, probably, right around Halloween, which is probably when most people play it. But
I know
no,
the
think
new
it's a good
edition,
one.
if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't have the big board like ours. I believe
Okay.
it's tiles that you lay
Oh.
out as you go, I think.
Interesting.
If I'm wrong, let me know.
I mean, don't get me
I think
wrong,
that's
I'm-
what the new one looks
Okay.
like. But yeah. But yeah, this is basically Arkham Horror, the second edition, I believe is what it one is.
We have the green box.
But yeah, but that is Arkham Horror. I believe it's the second edition, is my number 87.
Okay. All right, so my number 86 is, again, one we've had for quite some time now.
We've had a lot of games for quite some
I
time
know,
now.
I know. This one involves farming and water and pandas, and you are totally lost.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
I thought the panda would be
you
a
threw me
dead
a second for
giveaway.
pandas. I'm like going, what? Okay. I know this
Anyway,
one.
my number 86 is Takanoko. This is a tile placement game that you are one by one. One of the actions you have during the game is to put out one of 3 tiles that you draw from the stack. The others go back to the bottom of the stack for somebody to use later on. And you are building out a hexagon, basically a farm of bamboo. There are little bamboo pieces that you're trying to grow, and you're trying to get water out to the different tiles so that they will grow faster. Meanwhile, there's a farmer that can take down parts of the bamboo and you put them on your player board for scoring later on. Or there's the panda that likes to eat the bamboo. Or no, I'm sorry, the farmer grows the bamboo and it grows. The panda eats it and you put it on your board.
Yeah, the farmer don't eat the bamboo.
No, the farmer.
The farmer
I
grows
said
it.
the farmer cut the bamboo. I didn't say the farmer ate it.
Okay. Well,
Anyway.
maybe you needed to cut it to build a house. I don't know.
Maybe. That's a possibility.
It's a new expansion for it. Look out.
But I don't know. I like this one. It's so serene. Mm-hmm. It's so easy, and the colors are gorgeous.
What's the expansion called?
Chibis?
Chibis? No, or is it Chibis? Or
Chibis,
I don't
maybe.
know.
I'm looking.
It's the baby pandas.
But yeah, no, I like this one because again, it's so serene. It's so easy to play. The colors are gorgeous. It's cute to move the little panda around and have him eat bamboo. But meanwhile, there are goal cards, and everybody has a set of goal cards that you're trying to accomplish, whether it be to get so many stacks of bamboo so high. You want 3 stacks, four bamboo high, or to get certain colors of bamboo that the panda has eaten, or to make sure that you've got certain patterns of different colors of landscape, all having been fed with water in some fashion. Anyway, that is my number 86, Takanoko.
My number 86 actually came into the list last year. Oh, Takanoko may or may not show up on my list.
Oh, okay.
So. My number 86 actually started last year at number 80, so it's kind of gone down.
Well, not by
and we
much.
just discussed this on a podcast. This is Trekking Through History.
Oh, okay.
We backed the Kickstarter, played it. We taught it at Dice Tower Retreat. But this is the trekking one that I really like.
Yes.
Because it's a lot different than World or National Parks, but this is the one you're actually making treks and going through history, picking out cards that are going to go in sequential order of the dates. And you're learning a lot of stuff about the history, because on the back of the cards it tells you the history. But yeah, depending on how long your trek is,
determines your points.
So you really want long ones though, but you got to know when to cut it off, because it's going to be too big of a jump or whatever. And it's like, go ahead and set that aside, get the points for it, and then start a new one. But don't start it too late where you're going to lose points because you don't have enough to do it with.
That's always my problem.
It's a good strategy game for both beginners and experienced players. They could play in the same game and still have as much fun, not have to worry about the more experienced person is going to beat you. But yeah, that is Trekking Through History. Is this one on your list?
I can almost guarantee it's going to show up somewhere. I'm not seeing it right off the bat, but it's got to show up somewhere.
That is number 86, Trekking Through History.
All right, my number 85 is a roll and write. I think this may be the first roll and write so far. It is.
We got a bunch of them.
We do have a bunch of them. Well, the market's kind of inundated with them at the moment, but this is an older one. My number 85 is Welcome To. Oh. We picked this up a while back and enjoyed it enough that I picked up all of the kind of mini expansion pads, the zombies, the Halloween version, the Vegas. Well, Vegas is a standalone.
Yeah.
But
it's still Welcome To.
It's still Welcome To. We even picked up Welcome to the Moon later on. But in Welcome To, it's a flip and write. At the start of each round, you are flipping 2 cards over. Or no, you're flipping a total of 3. And everybody in the game has a choice of 1 set of the 3. Each set will show a number, and it'll show a special property. Whether it be you're going to add a pool, or you need to add a fence, or you can, gosh, I don't even remember all of them now, drawing a blank, but it'll show those 2 pieces of information. And then everybody is going to choose which of the 3 sets they want. You can't mix and match, you have to use the full set. And then you're adding that number somewhere into one of your blocks, and all of your blocks have to be in consecutive order. So you can't go house number 1, house number 10, house number 5. The world does not work that way.
Your houses in
it has to be, each block has to be in consecutive order. So, and then you add that specialty item, again, whether it be a pool or a park or a fence or, why am I drawing a blank on all the other options? But anyway, you add that specialty item somewhere else on your board. It does not have to be in that house. It can be someplace else. Some of them, they do require it be in that house. I think the pool almost has to be. If you put that number in, it has to be a location that will accept a pool.
That shows a pool on that house.
And if it doesn't, then you don't get to ever claim that pool. You just kind of exit out and you don't get it. But yeah, it's just a neat roll and write. It's a flip and write.
Flip and write.
This one took us a while to wrap our heads around. I think I got it right away. It took you a little while to wrap your head around it. on the best strategies. But it can be tricky because you've got to weigh your options on how soon do I want to close in the numbers I have open.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to place them in, straight down the block. You can put 1 at the one end and 15 at the other end and just fill in the middle. But there comes a point is like, okay, I really want this number 5 with a pool, but there's 3 houses between number 1 and number 5. I have to find a 2, 3, and 4. I don't have any other choice. So you've got to weigh your options on whether you're better off closing that gap some so you don't need quite as many numbers to fill in the gaps. So it's a great flip and write. Lots of options with it because, like I said, they have the Easter and the winter and the apocalypse, which is the zombie one. And they've got all sorts of different map packs that go with it now. So, But anyway, that is my number, 85? Welcome to.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think I have any
of the welcome
roll and
twos?
rights or anything on my list
Wow.
here. And there's a few of them that I really like that I can't believe that it's not on here.
Yeah.
So my number 85, we played this year at the Dice Tower Retreat.
Okay.
We do not own the game. So we've only got 1 play of it, but we really liked it. We've looked at possibly picking it up. We've seen it in a couple stores, but we've passed for some reason. This is Orichalcum.
Oh, okay.
So in Orichalcum, you are building your small little kingdom, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, it's probably the best word for it.
And in the way you're building your kingdom, you could attract a god to come over. It's going to give you a special power. But if somebody builds a little bit of an area like that that's bigger, that would attract the god. Or no, actually, it's the same size. It doesn't matter.
No, it's the same size. As long as
if they build another one,
4.
then they could take the god from you and attract it over to there. You're going to get points for the gods, which somebody did.
The gods are very flighty. Somebody else does something that attracts their attention, and they're gone. They're off to the next.
They have the
new
attention span
thing.
of somebody I know that's sitting in this room. Anyway,
I feel kind of called out there.
no, not at all. Jarvis is sitting over there someplace. Yeah, he's over there.
Okay.
Anyway, though, but yeah, it's really cool. There's monsters that come out on tiles that you're trying to place, so you've got to battle the monsters to make sure you get. But you get points for the monsters that you take out. You get points for gods that are left on your board. But it's a really cool tile placement. It's not really polyomino because they're octagonal groupings.
Circular groupings. Yeah. So they're all circles. The graphic art is circles.
Yeah.
And then they're all grouped together in different shapes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is, I love the artwork on this game too.
Yes, the artwork is gorgeous.
It's very cartoony.
It is.
It works.
It does.
Kind of like the same artwork from a game you don't like, Santorini. About the same style artwork.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's from the same art designer or not, or the same artist. But yep, that's number 85, Orichalcum.
Okay. Okay. Well, my number 84. This was one of the very. Okay, so we're both very big into trick-taking games. We love just the simple trick-taking card games. It's just fun to sit around a table and chat while you're throwing cards out for euchre or something. And euchre was the first trick-taking game I'd ever been exposed to.
I taught you when we met.
Yeah, when we first met, yes. This is one that when it first came out, I was like, how in the world does that work? And there's been a few of those now. I can think of 3 of them right off the bat that I said that exact same thing for, and we own all 3 now, and I love all 3 of them. But this was the first cooperative trick-taking game we'd ever played. This is the Crew Quest for Planet 9. Now, we have both of the crews, and we're just starting to dig into the Ocean one.
Yes, we've got a couple of those.
Cannot think of the name of it now, but so the Crew Quest for Planet 9.
I'm trying to read it from here.
It's way over there on the shelf.
Mission Deep Sea.
There you go. Okay. And I know that everybody says that is a better one, and we've really enjoyed the first few missions we've done of it. We just have not had a chance to sit down with our other partners to play any more of them. So the way these play, though, is you deal out all the cards to everybody. There is a set of mission cards in the middle, and there's 50 missions in each box, or at least in the first box. I haven't checked the second one. But each mission dictates how many gold cards you have in the middle, whether things have to be done in a specific order. There's different rules to each of the missions that you have to work with in order to win the mission. So, for example, you may have 3 cards. It may say that you've got 3 gold cards out in the middle. So you've got like the yellow, the pink 2, and the yellow 5, and the blue 9, whatever. And each person in the game has to choose one, starting with whoever the captain is. There's only 4 Trump in the game. And then that person, so say the captain takes that blue 9, they have to be able to take the blue 9, whether they have it in their hand currently and they win that trick, or they get it from somebody else in a trick that they've won. Everybody knows what everybody needs. So I know Greg needs that pink 2. So if I have that pink 2 in my hand, I somehow have to get it into a trick. I know he's going to win. It's just really interesting because you can do a slight amount of talking, a slight amount of communication in terms of saying, hey, look, guys, I have the blue 9, but this is my highest one.
Yep.
Or this is the only one I have, so don't throw out a blue that's going to steal this from me because I have to have this back. So you've got a little bit of communication you can do, but not a lot. So I don't know. It's just fun. We've had some missions we take out right off the bat.
And some that we played 30 times.
It feels that way, yes. It does feel like I wrote a whole lot of L's in the book.
I think there was like mission 29.
29 or 31, something
like that. It took us forever to get through.
We played a lot of them. So, but it's, I don't know, it's just fun. But they really did a good job of making it feel cooperative and having that central goal that everybody had to work toward to get the mission done. So yeah, I really like it. But that is The Crew, Quest for Planet 9, but this could go for either one of them, honestly. All right.
So number 84 is my Zombicide system game.
Oh.
And this is Massive Darkness, first edition.
Not really Zombicide, but yes.
It is. It even states in it, Zombicide system.
Oh.
So it still uses somewhat. Yeah, it's what it says in BGG that it uses the Zombicide system.
I feel like there's a lot more to
I do too, but this one is a great dungeon crawl RPG where it almost feels like you are playing an RPG that your DM actually has a map set up for you so you can actually see what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
You actually have a character sheet that you're upgrading the character sheets. Each zone is numbered, so on your character sheet, all your stuff is numbered. So in zone 1, you're only using your zone 1 stuff. In zone 2, then you can start using. So it depends on how deep in the dungeon is where you're getting your stuff. And in every game, every round in the book, you can only keep a certain amount of stuff.
Yes.
And it depends on what level you are and different stuff. It's really cool. I think if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of like Agents of Smersh. If in Agents of Smersh you die, you just pick up another character and start all over again. This one, if you die, you're going to have to start all over again with another character at the lowest level. Yeah. Just like a normal role-playing game.
I love the character sheets in this.
The minis are really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the humongous spider that comes out is really
something
cool.
Else.
And we got some upgrade packs that we have the little columns and everything for.
The columns and the chests, and I've used those in other games.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're nice
to
have.
So, yeah, and we actually still have one expansion for this that we haven't played yet. So, it's going to come out. So, we're in M's next year. So, we'll be playing the expansion for this one. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is number 84, Massive Darkness, the first edition. We haven't played the second edition yet, so.
Yeah. All right. All right, so my 83 is Shockers, a game we've had for a while now. This is Witch of Salem. I can't even think of any way to make you guess on this one.
It was our first game that we tackled the old ones.
It was. That's true. Okay, I could have said that. Let's go back. So my 80. So Witch of Salem is a cooperative game where, again, you are battling the old ones, moving around in the city of Salem from location to location, from the hospital to the various locations where you can go to battle the creatures that have come up into that location. The key is there's a whole deck of creatures, and a new one comes out after every person's turn. And if there's ever 2 of the same creature on the board, then something happens. And it's not a good something.
It usually awakens one of the old ones.
Yeah, it awakens one of the old ones, or it moves the tracker up one more, and when the tracker gets to the end of the track, then that wakens the final old one, and again, not good.
Yeah.
There's ways to go through and seal up some of the barriers, because you've got 6 different barriers in the, and they don't call them barriers, they call them something else, and I don't remember what they're called now. Portals, that's what it is. But you can go seal the portals to make sure nobody else can come through those areas, and the goal is to get all of those sealed before the final old one is released, is awakened. The one problem we have with this game is that you're not allowed to tell other people what kind of seal you found.
Yeah, because you secretly
Which
look
is
at
silly.
it and put it back down.
It's cooperative.
But it also says in the rule books that there's no rule against you saying we don't want to go there anymore.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, there you go. So there's ways to work around it. We've got a 50-50 scenario or ratio on this one. It's a good one. It's a great one to play at October timeframe.
We've played this a lot at 2 players. We've played it even at 4 players.
Yeah,
so.
this is a great cooperative.
A hard one to get, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's out of print. Yeah.
Well, it's a Mayfair game.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. As you can tell, it's down there. Okay, but that is my number. What was that? 83, Witch of Salem.
Mm-hmm. So, my number 83 is a bag builder, and the only bag builder, to my surprise, that's on my list. I know there's a couple bag builders I actually like, but this is the only one that made the list.
I can think of 3 we have.
This is a newer one, and we played it at Dice Tower Retreat this year, and taught Jeff Knapp from Tabletop.
Of all the 3 we have, this is the one that should have made your list.
I figured Orleans was higher than this, but this is Life on the Amazonia.
Yeah.
This one, I think because it's newer, is why, and we had not played Orleans in a while.
We've gotten a lot of plays of this one in recently, so.
Yeah, but this is all about your building the Amazon, I guess.
Yeah,
your habitats,
a nature park, nature habitat.
And trying to get your animals on the board in certain ways to score extra points. You're using coins to buy coins, which I never understood. I'm using this 2 coin to buy a 1 coin. You're paying coins to buy water, you're paying coins to buy the food, you're paying coins to buy the plants, and you're paying
higher amounts of money,
paying coins to buy more coins, to buy your tiles that you're building, to buy the animals, to put them on your board, to go up in ranks on the different levels to get lily pads and more plants, and there's a lot going on. I've never won this game, so I'm not sure why this game is so high on my list and Orleans is not. But the components on there you can't beat. The components are really cool. Katy actually did this on Kickstarter. She actually got the wood waterfall, which it's a cool looking component. And I came home, she was almost in tears because it kept breaking up on her. But she got it put together. It looks great. We don't use the cardboard one. She always puts that up. She doesn't take the wood one off. And as a matter of fact, it sits over there on the shelf now, on top of our Champions box. So,
it does.
But yeah, so this is Life on the Amazonian, just off of Kickstarter. And for some reason, my only bag building game on the list at number 83.
This will show up later on my list.
Oh, gee, like in the top 10?
Maybe. All right, so my number 82 is, again, one we've had for a little bit of time now. Anthropomorphic animals, I think that's how you say that word. The Tree of Life, anthropomorphic animals. That's about as fast as it gets.
Say it 4 times.
No.
Really fast, okay.
Anyway, but this is Everdell.
We didn't get the wooden tree for this one.
We did not. And I'm okay with that. We don't play it. So eventually, yes, that cardboard tree is going to wear out, but you don't have to have the tree.
No, you don't have to have the tree. And especially with the expansions, you don't use the tree in the
expansions. No, you don't. So I'm not overly worried about getting the tree on this one. And honestly, if you're playing 4-player, it almost gets in your way. But anyway, Everdell is a tableau builder, hand management. The game ends when one person has 15 items in their tableau, in their town. But you are placing workers out to get resources. You're using those resources to build cards out of your hand or out of the field, which are going to give you special powers or not special powers, but give you more resources or special abilities at the end of each season. The neat thing with this one is that not everybody progresses through the seasons at the same time, which could be good or bad. When you're ready to go to the next season, you don't have to wait for everybody else to finish up with the fall season to move on. You move on to the next season, you take all your workers back, you do everything you need to do. What that does, though, is you take all your workers back off the board. That now clears up spaces on the board for everybody else who has not progressed through the seasons yet. So they now have more spaces open to them. But the same thing holds true is that, okay, you can get some other stuff done in the next season, but then as soon as they switch seasons, all their workers are coming back. So it's a constant ebb and flow of workers on the board. On the flip side, though, one person's going to get completely done with the game and has to wait for everybody else to finish the game.
Yeah.
That's the only bad thing about that
That's
mechanism.
the one downside.
But I think that constant ebb and flow of workers where not everybody's workers are on the board at the same time, I think that compensates enough for it. It makes up for it. But yeah, I really like this one.
The artwork, Andrew Bosley artwork is really awesome in this game.
And the boards are gorgeous. They're large. It is a table hog if I've ever seen one.
And with more expansions, it gets even more.
Yeah.
You need a really big table to
Our
play
table
all
is
the
not big
expansions.
enough. But anyway, but that is my number 82, Everdell.
This may or may not show up later in my list.
Okay.
So my number 82 is another game we played with Jeff at the table at Dice Tower Retreat this year.
Okay.
This is a cooperative card deck builder defense game.
It's got to be Siege of Ruindar.
This is Siege of Ruindar. This is a very mean Reiner Knizia game, if I'm not mistaken. It's Reiner Knizia, right? I think so. Yeah. Anyway, but this is all about you're defending this castle and the gold that you're actually trying to steal to get out of the castle, but you got to dig your way out. All while orcs are attacking the castle as well, but you're playing cards out. You have a deck of 10 cards or 12 cards.
12.
2 of them you pull out without looking at them, put them underneath your player card. Those aren't in your hand this turn.
For the next 2 rounds, they're out.
Yeah, so you're playing cards out of your hands to do different things, whether it's go and fight, pick up resources, and different stuff. There are 2 orc cards in your hand, so when an orc card comes out, you draw an orc card off the top pile, and it tells you where they're located around the castle.
Whether they're moving or coming out,
You lose by if all the gold, if the orcs get to the gold and steal all the gold, or if the orc deck runs out. But during the game, there's people getting resources, and these resources you can put on upgraded cards, and each card will tell you how many resources it needs, and also the row it's in is going to actually make you pay more. But once a card is all paid for, then on somebody's turn, they can decide, hey, I'm going to take this card, put it into my hand, because I could use it a little better than other people could, because this is what I'm doing. And then when you do that, you take a card out of your hand, and that card's out of the game. So you only have 12 cards all the time, no matter how many upgraded cards you get.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, and then somebody's got to dig it out, and every time you dig through one section of the wall, goblins and orcs come in, and now you got to defend off of them. Wow. There are trebuchets and wall towers that can come in to try and attack through with, so you've got to take those out. So it's a very interesting deck, kind of a deck building defense game.
Deck management, because you're not really building.
Yeah,
your deck never moves.
That's a good explanation of it. Deck management game and defense game. That's a co-op.
Yeah, this is a fun one.
So this is
we beat it by the skin of our teeth.
And we actually finally picked it up, and we've yet to get it to the table yet, though. But we've only had it for a few weeks maybe. But yes, that is number 82, The Siege of Ruindar.
Okay.
Okay, my number 81 is Fantastic Factories.
Okay.
This is also new to my list. So, in Fantastic Factories, you're competing to build the most productive factories in the shortest amount of time. This is basically a dice placement game.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I really love. I love dice placement games. Where you are using your dice for card drafting, you're building factory parts with the resources you're getting off of cards that you already have. On some of the cards, they can manipulate the dice to make it a different dice to be able to place it in other areas to get better cards. But yeah, so you're doing all this just to get as many points as you can, though. But it's a lot of fun. Just the building mechanism of trying to get your engine to run and following the blueprints that you pick up to build. So it's a really cool. It's dice placement and basically tableau building, and I like both types of
Yes. Yeah, this is
games.
a good one. I agree. This is a good one.
This one has a lot of expansions. We have only played this game maybe once or twice, but I do like the play that we had of them.
I love the manipulation you can do, and
it has
dice placement's awesome.
a few expansions for it, but we haven't played the game enough to get the expansions for it yet, though. But I've heard the expansions really add to the game, so maybe we'll get to the table a little bit more often and maybe pick up an expansion or two. But yeah, but that is Fantastic Factories is my number 81.
All right. Well, my number 81 is the latest addition to our Lacerda collection. My number 81 is Escape Plan.
This isn't on my list.
I know. You did not care for this
I had a rough time with this game. We've played it once, and I had a really rough time against it.
The concept behind this one is that you are everybody is playing a bank robber. Everybody pulled off this job together, and they each hid money someplace, and you are trying to get out of the city in a certain number of days, collecting as much of the money that you hid as possible, all the while trying to avoid the local police. The problem we had is that in a two-player game, good old Sandra comes in from Kanban Factory.
And she's a detective.
She's
which
a
is police
detective
officer
in this one, and she is a thorn in your side the entire game. So I am curious to play this one at more than two players to see the difference when you take Sandra out of the mix and you don't have that.
And this has got a lot of take that in it because you can send Sandra after somebody else to get her off your tail.
Your back, yeah. But this one is you're playing out tiles as you go. That's one of the options you have, and you are looking for specific tiles, including the exit tiles. There are 3 exit tiles out of the city, and you have to find the right one to get out. And there's certain ways the game tells you which one is the right one. But yeah, just an interesting Lacerda game. Just like any of his others, a lot of things going on, top-notch production. Just a great game. But yeah, that is my 81.
This one is the if somebody gets out and you don't get out the same turn, it's gonna cost you a bunch of money at the end, which you've been trying to save up.
The first person out manages to do it for free, and then after that, you have till the end of the day to get out, but it costs you.
Right.
Each additional person who got out before you, it costs you more money.
Right.
To get out, because you have to bribe the whoever the guards are at the gate to let you out.
Yep. So,
but that is my number 81, Escape Plan.
Yep.
So that is it. That's it for this episode. That is 90 through 81. Stay tuned next week for 80
through 71.
Thank you. Why am I have a hard time counting backwards. 80 through 71.
Should we start at number 1 and went to 100? Would it have been easier for you?
Sure, absolutely would have been easier for me. Anyway,
until
that is it for today.
We'll see you at the next one.